I am pleased to introduce Geraint Davies, Labour MP for Swansea West, who called for a referendum on the terms of Brexit before invoking Article 50, the massive step and change. Geraint has been supportive of the Swansea Bay Tidal Power Lagoon and is presenting a clean air bill in Parliament. Please give him a big cheer.
Thank you very much, Anna, and also Felix. The reality is, if Felix and people of his age had had a vote, when we would have won this referendum. Yes. And this underlines how if people who live abroad, or expatriates, had had a vote, we would have won this election. Yes. If there was a referendum tomorrow, the people who've changed their minds, we would have won. So it seems to be absurd that 37% of Britons and the people in Northern Ireland who have voted to leave should have the Trump card, literally. 37% of course is less than the 40% that is required under the new trade union legislation to have a vote of public sector workers. So how can that be the basis that we leave Europe? That being said, I accept the fact that there has been a vote and people have voted to leave. But let's remember on what basis they voted to leave. They voted for three reasons. Firstly, more money. Secondly, market access. And thirdly, less migration. But in terms of more money, they were promised £350 million a week for the NHS. But the Chancellor tells us we'll have 300 million less for Britain. We will have another year of austerity. We face 5% inflation, which will erode our savings for older people, our incomes for working people. In terms of market access, Nissan has already been given a sweetheart deal to compensate for the coming tariffs. We know we will face tariffs. That isn't market access. Theresa May says she is the queen of free trade, but has already said different sectors will have different arrangements. That isn't what people voted for. And as for migration, people were told migration would go down, but of course what's been said is that Sorry. Well, I'll turn this off. How about that? I'll sing a song as well. Only EU. So in terms of the promises that were given, which are people will have more money. We know instead of the £350 million they were promised for the NHS, they will get £300 million less, as Philip Hammond, the Chancellor, has said. We know there'll be another year of austerity. We know that wages and savings will be deflated by 5% because the international community has dropped its confidence in the value of the pound and the British economy. We know we won't get free market access. We will have tariffs, which is why Nissan are blackmailing the government to have sweetheart deals, as are other big manufacturers. Otherwise, they'll simply up sticks and leave. We know migration isn't suddenly in control. We've said we'll close the door in 2 years, so there's a surge in migration. So that isn't what people voted for. And it seems to me that people should have the right to have the final say, to send back what they voted for if it doesn't represent the reasonable expectations. If you bought a mobile phone and I said to you, and I was selling it, oh, this does colour photos, and you took it home and did black and white, you should have the right either to bring it back or to accept it. And that is why the people should have the final say on the exit package. We accept, okay, it was a bit dodgy in terms of the percentages required. We accept the vote has happened, the vote went to leave in principle, but in practice it was done for specific reasons that were based on misinformation and downright lies. And people should be able to come back and say, does this represent what I thought? If so, I can go ahead or not. And what we'd found is that something like 85% of people over 65 voted. The mass majority voted to leave. But those people have got their savings reduced by 5%. They can't afford to go on Mediterranean holidays. They've been told by the Chancellor they'll face cuts after 2020. Is that what they voted for? No. So a lot of them are saying, well, hold on, I've changed my mind. A lot of younger people didn't get round to voting. They were sort of told, oh, well, everybody knows what's going to happen. We're going to stay in. I can't be bothered. And now they're absolutely livid that their opportunities, their life chances are being breached by being marooned in this sort of prison of Britain with the sort of barriers for immigration, and they can't go free flow across Europe. So I say delay Article 50. Now the thing about Article 50 is that when we trigger Article 50, we are literally giving in our membership card for the EU. Make no mistake about this. What will then happen according to Article 50, is that the remaining 27 members, EU 27, will decide our fate. They've got 2 years to decide what we get, like it or lump it. We're not negotiating, we're just making noises on the outside. And there's no case to trigger it on the 30th of March, because of course in May the French have an election to have a new government, in October the Germans have an election to have a new government, so they are the two biggest players. They won't be engaged in the negotiation, so immediately 7 months are lost out of the 2 year time frame for Article 50. But in any case, as I say, that we've got no say in it in any case. Now some people say, oh, don't worry, Article 50 is revocable. Well, there's nothing in Article 50 about, it's all about leaving. It's not about changing your mind and doing the hokey cokey. And it's like saying, well, I tell you what, I might walk down the M4 in the middle of the night and I might not get killed. It's better not to do it in the first place, surely. So I say, delay Article 50 and have the final say for the people. Then we talk about negotiations. We're throwing away 3 key cards in our negotiations by triggering Article 50 on March the 31st. The first is our membership itself. We're giving in our membership, so we're no longer negotiating as members. The second is time. We've no longer got control of time. Quite naturally, the EU is saying, well, if you're going to divorce us, get out, we can get on and sort out the settlement, hurry up. We don't want uncertainty, it's bad. But if we say, hold on, we're controlling time, we will decide, and we want you to come to the table before we trigger Article 50, they will. But most important of all, if they think we're going to have a referendum on the Brexit package that people may vote down because it doesn't resemble the reasonable expectations at the referendum, then they will think, hold on, Britain might stay in the EU, and that's what they want. And that's what we want, isn't it? Yeah! So they come to the negotiating table and say, this is what we're going to offer you, but I mean, obviously, we're giving you a package that doesn't encourage other people to leave. We are a club. We've got, you know, we've got a single market, we know this is what you're going to get, but people need to have their eyes open when they take the plunge, not their eyes blindfolded and pushed off the edge by Theresa May, who's sitting glumly over there. So that's what we should be doing, delaying Article 50 and giving the people the final say, and that's why I'm moving an amendment next week to demand that. And obviously I'm not saying any support you can give to your MPs to say, vote for this, we're going to delay in Article 50, there's no point doing it now, we want to keep at the negotiating table, and we want the final say on the Brexit package, and if people still want that, fine, go ahead. But the reality is that what Theresa May is saying, she's got this cunning plan, isn't she? And the cunning plan is, turn our back on the 44% of our trade, which is the biggest market in the world, the closest market in the world, which is the EU, and extend our hand to the remaining 56%. And we already trade with the 56%. This idea we don't trade with people isn't true. So we go along to people we already trade with and say, give us a better deal, we've just burnt our bridges with the EU. What are they going to say? Oh, that's interesting, we can negotiate a better deal than you would have had with the EU because you're so weak and desperate, and this is what you're getting. So who's the first person we're going to approach for that deal? Donald Trump. Tyrannical, racist, unpleasant, misogynist, protectionist spells Trump. And the reality is that in his inauguration, he said that other countries are ravaging the USA. They're taking our jobs, they're making our products, and they're stealing our companies. So do you think he's going to give an easy ride to Theresa May when he separated her out? You know, like you've seen these lions separating out the bison or whatever. They separated us away from the EU, who had been negotiating, and you know those negotiations have broken down because we don't want transnational companies having the power to fine and sue democratically elected governments for passing laws which protect our citizens in terms of environmental protection, in terms of rights at work, in terms of public health. We don't want that. But obviously if Trump is at the negotiating table, he say, yeah, I'll give you a deal, but I want to get into the health service. I don't like all these environmental protections of various cars. I don't know, all these rights of work are a bit old-fashioned, aren't they? 4 weeks guaranteed holidays, surely people could live with less than that. Give business a bit of profitability. And I say, the people who voted to leave didn't vote for Britain to become a sort of offshore tax haven of low skills, low standards, depleted environment, and reduce human rights, all of which are protected by the European Court of Human Rights if we're in the EU. So we strip away our defence, we stand isolated, and we become ravaged and exploited by Donald Trump. That's not what people voted for, including the people who voted to go. And that's why they should have the right to a vote on the exit package. Do they still want to when they look at it? When they've ordered the suit and it doesn't fit and it looks stupid, it's the wrong cloth and the wrong colour? No. That's why we want another vote, and that's why we should keep fighting. I know that the odds don't look very good, because frankly the Conservatives are coming to line. Many Labour colleagues are facing big Brexit votes and thinking, hold on, I better respect that. But I'm sure we will hear a lot more on this from A.C. Grayling about the constitutional position. This was an advisory rather than a mandatory vote. We do live in a parliamentary democracy. I'm not sent to Parliament simply to echo whatever is being said. It is the case that if we had a referendum on hanging or the death penalty, in all probability would go through, but I wouldn't vote for it. And I'm proud that, yes, in Swansea overall, people voted to leave in my constituency, narrowly to stay. But I'm proud to be standing here on what I believe in and to join you shoulder to shoulder to say that there should be a vote on the Brexit package. We should delay Article 50, and first and foremost we want to put the futures of our children and our children's children, not the short-term expedients of current politics. Thank you very much. And now over to